1. Tragic East LA blast. 3 LASD deputies killed in training facility explosion. 2. Tragic explosion at LA County Sheriff's Training Facility, remembering the fallen. 3. Tragic loss. 3 LA Sheriff's deputies killed in explosion, largest since 1857. 1. Tragic East LA blast. 3 LASD deputies killed in training facility explosion. A devastating explosion has shattered the Los Angeles law enforcement community, claiming 3 bomb squad veterans in what should have been their safe training environment. But the heartbreaking twist? The very device that killed them was believed to be harmless. Here's the unfolding tragedy that's left a department in mourning and a city demanding answers. On a routine Friday morning around 7:30 a.m., catastrophe struck at the Biscailuz Training Center in East Los Angeles. 3 elite members of the LA County Sheriff's Department's Arson Explosives Detail, Deputy Joshua Kelley-Eklund, Deputy Victor Lemus, and Deputy William Osborn, were killed while handling explosive materials. This facility serves as the nerve center for specialized units like the bomb squad, making the incident doubly tragic. But here's where it gets controversial. Investigators reveal the explosive device had been retrieved from a seemingly uneventful Santa Monica call just 1 day earlier. Multiple law enforcement sources confirm the material was classified as inert, meaning completely deactivated and safe, when it suddenly detonated. For beginners in bomb disposal protocols, this classification should have guaranteed zero risk. The shocking mismatch between expectation and reality now forms the investigation's core mystery. These weren't just any officers. Together, they represented 74 years of irreplaceable expertise. Kelley-Eklund, a respected trainer and father of 7, Lemus, a K-9 handler turned explosive specialist with 3 daughters and multiple family members in law enforcement, Osborn, the unit's go-to mentor for complex cases. Sheriff Robert Lunar emotionally disclosed this marks the department's deadliest single incident since 1857, when a sheriff and 3 deputies were ambushed by outlaws. A fallout spread beyond the blast site. 4 hours. A massive law enforcement contingent painstakingly secured the area while lapped bomb technicians neutralized remaining threats. That evening, a solemn 15-minute procession carried flag-draped caskets past hundreds of grieving colleagues and citizens, with families weeping as medical examiner vans departed. Now, the Santa Monica connection fuels urgent questions. Authorities evacuated an apartment complex at 800 Bay Street on Friday, searching storage units linked to Thursday's call where the deputies had retrieved materials. Residents described discovering inert grenades left by a military veteran tenant, devices later removed without evacuation. But here's the chilling detail most people miss. The same woman who found them reportedly said they fell when she accessed a locker, suggesting they were disturbed after years of dormancy. Despite this lead, officials stress no confirmed link exists yet. The FBI and ATF are dissecting both scenes, while Sheriff Lunar openly admits, "We don't know what went wrong." Elected leaders reacted with visceral grief. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger called it heartbreaking, while Governor Gavin Newsom mobilized emergency resources. But this tragedy inevitably sparks debate. Should protocols for handling safe explosives be overhauled? Could complacency have played a role when dealing with materials labeled inert? As investigators piece together this puzzle, we're left with an uncomfortable truth. Even experts trained to neutralize danger aren't immune to it. What safety reforms would you propose to prevent such disasters? Share your thoughts below. This conversation could save lives. 2. Tragic explosion at LA County Sheriff's Training Facility, remembering the fallen. On Friday morning, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department faced its darkest day in over 168 years when 3 experienced deputies lost their lives in a tragic explosion at a training facility. This heartbreaking event stands as the department's largest loss of life since 1857, according to Sheriff Robert Lunar. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this a simple accident, or could there be more to the story? The explosion occurred at the Biscailuz Center Training Academy, approximately 6 miles east of downtown Los Angeles, shortly after 7:30 a.m. The victims, Detectives Joshua Kelley-Eklund, Victor Lemus, and William Osborn, had collectively served 74 years and were highly skilled members of the arson and explosives detail, handling an average of 1,100 dangerous calls annually. According to Sheriff Lunar, the deputies were responding to an incident involving an explosive device discovered in a Santa Monica apartment the previous day. The device was reportedly found in a storage unit by a tenant, who alerted authorities. It was believed to be left behind by a former occupant, though its exact nature, whether military ordnance or an improvised explosive device, remains under investigation. Law enforcement sources explained that the deputies were planning to perform a render-safe procedure on the device, either by safely disassembling it or detonating it in a controlled environment. However, something went terribly wrong during the process, leading to the tragic explosion. And this is the part most people miss. Could negligence or an unforeseen circumstance have played a role in the mishap? Investigations are underway, with the Los Angeles Police Department's bomb squad, the FBI, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, all contributing to the inquiry. Authorities are also seeking a search warrant for the Santa Monica residence where the device was found, although it's unclear if the items discovered there are directly linked to the explosion. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the sheriff expressed his deep sorrow, stating, "These aren't people who don't do this very often. They are fantastic experts, and unfortunately, I lost 3 of them today." The community has rallied around the sheriff's department, offering support and assistance. Mayor Karen Bass and other officials have emphasized their commitment to helping the agency navigate this challenging time. As the investigation continues, many questions remain unanswered. Was the device properly secured before transport? Could human error have contributed to the explosion? These are the kinds of questions that keep investigators busy and prompt public debate. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder of the inherent risks faced by law enforcement personnel every day. As we mourn the loss of these dedicated officers, let us also reflect on the importance of safety protocols and the bravery of those who protect us. What do you think could have gone wrong in this case? Share your thoughts in the comments. 3. Tragic loss. 3 LA Sheriff's deputies killed in explosion, largest since 1857. A heart-wrenching tragedy has struck the LA County Sheriff's Department. 3 highly trained bomb squad detectives were killed in an explosion during what should have been a routine training exercise, and this is the department's deadliest single incident since 1857. But here's where it gets controversial. Questions are already swirling about how a device that appeared inert could suddenly detonate. On Friday at the Biscailuz Training Center in Monterey Park, a sprawling facility where deputies practice everything from live-fire scenarios to handling suspicious packages, the department's arson explosives detail was conducting hands-on drills. According to Sheriff Robert Lunar, no other personnel were injured, and the bomb squad quickly secured the scene. Still, the shock is palpable as investigators work to determine the exact cause of the blast. And this is the part most people miss. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News that the deputies had returned the previous day from a standard callout to a Santa Monica residence, where they believed they'd recovered a harmless device. It was taken back to the training center, assumed safe, and then exploded without warning. But here's the question dividing experts and the public alike. Should potentially live explosives ever be moved from an active crime scene to a training facility? Sheriff Lunar insists this was an isolated incident with no broader threat to the community, but the unanswered why has already spurred a high-level response. Arson specialists from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, investigators with the Los Angeles Fire Department, the FBI, and the county's own bomb techs have all descended on the site and the Santa Monica home, searching for any trace of materials that could explain what went so terribly wrong. Lunar's press briefing was emotional. He shared that he's spoken with the families of 2 of the 3 fallen deputies, conversations he described as extremely challenging. His grief echoed that of County Supervisor Janice Harn, who called the day extraordinarily painful and vowed to support the investigation and the department's healing process. Here's a closer look at the men we lost. Detective Joshua Kelley-Eklund joined the Sheriff's Department in 2006 and rose to detective by 2016. As a field training officer, he taught new deputies the ropes before specializing in arson and explosives investigations in 2022. He leaves behind his wife and 7 children. Detective Victor Lemus, with the department since 2003, became a K9 handler in 2017, meaning he worked side by side with trained police dogs to sniff out threats, later shifting to arson investigations last year. His wife, also a department detective, and their 3 daughters survive him, along with 3 sisters who serve the same agency. Detective William Osborn was a department veteran from 1992, spending over a decade as a detective before teaching emergency vehicle operations starting in 2016. In 2019, he moved into arson and explosives work, mentoring new investigators until this tragedy. I lost 3 experts today who handle roughly 1,100 calls a year, as Sheriff Lunar said. These are professionals who face danger all the time. Yet we're left asking how an allegedly inert device could kill them. Mayor Karen Bass and Attorney General Pamela Bondi have offered their support and prayers, but the public wants answers. Were safety protocols followed? Did budget cuts or staffing levels affect the review of recovered devices? And perhaps most controversially, should bomb squads ever transport questionable explosives off-site for any purpose? What do you think? Should law enforcement change its guidelines on where and how suspected devices are stored and examined? Do you agree with the department's decision to move the item to the training center, or is a policy overhaul overdue? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.